Hi, I'm Missy Wryn. Thank you for joining me at the Horse Training Question and Answers. Number 7 is a question by Estella. It's actually the second question that Estella sent in from Oregon. And she asks, how would I get my gelding to side pass? Now, side passing, I started on the ground and then I translated under saddle. And I'm just going to give you the ground techniques now. And later down the road, I'll be talking about side passing under saddle in another video. But to get a horse to side pass on the ground, you first want to teach that horse to yield their hindquarters and then yield their forequarters. And in doing that, that is one of my 5 fundamentals that translate under saddle for a safer ride. So to yield the hindquarters, you want to tip the nose a little bit towards you, and I want you to use your training stick. And you've desensitized already with this training stick, so your horse isn't frightened. You want to go and you want to rub the bottom. Good boy. Maybe the stick is a good thing. It's just an extension of your hand. And then I want you to start tapping in the air and count to 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then make contact on the bottom. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Touching, tapping the bottom. And increase the tapping, amp that pressure, because remember, horses learn from the release of pressure, not the pressure itself. So as soon as he takes one step to the side, rub his bottom with the stick. Go, good boy. And then come in here and stroke that neck. Good boy, good boy. Okay, now tip the nose again. And the reason why we keep that nose tip is if he was to kick out or get naughty, you can pull that nose towards you, which will send the hind end away. So you want to take that stick and you rub in the bottom and start tapping in the air. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you tap the bottom. 1, 2, 3. And you increase the tapping until he takes a step and you rub him to a stop. Good boy, good boy. Okay, so you get the yielding down of the hindquarters. I like to get it to the point where I tip the nose and I just point and I go, and that horse goes, yes ma'am, and moves that bottom. And that's what you're going to build that, but you got to start with baby steps. So start with the stick, and then eventually you won't need the stick. You'll just point, and maybe you need to cluck. Typically I need to add a little kiss of extra pressure, because when you're under saddle and you go to disengage that hindquarters, you've got the nose tipped, you can go and get that bottom to move if they're not moving off your heel. Very important to do this on the ground. Then the next is to yield the forequarters. So you're going to take the rope, you're going to put your horse's nose up against the wall. So here's the wall. Put that horse up against the wall, and I'm going to have the lead rope in my hand, and I'm going to rub the neck. I'm going to take my other hand and put my finger down at the girth, at the spot where my foot is going to go. Very important that we apply pressure where our feet are going to be so it translates under saddle. If we've got their foot way up high, it's not going to make sense to the horse when we're riding. So I want to make sure that that finger or your thumb is where your foot's going to go. So I'm rubbing the neck, and I know I've got my finger where my foot will be on the girth. And then I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to put it up towards the eye of the horse, and I'm going to press on the girth, and I'm going to wiggle my hands and get that horse to first follow his nose. Eventually we're going to translate it down to the pressure at the girth, but at first we're going to get that horse to follow his nose. So I'm going to get him to kind of wave at his eye, and he's going to move off. Now if he doesn't, I may have to push the nose a little bit to get him to follow that. And as soon as that front inside foot, and inside is the side you're on, as soon as that front inside crosses, you rub the neck and tell him, good boy, and drop your pressure. So remember, the release of the pressure is the most important thing. That's how your horse is going to learn. And of course, you want to stop pressing at the girth. So you do it again, hand up towards the eye, thumb down at the girth, ask them to move, and as soon as they do, rub them to a stop, okay? So now you've got hind quarter and you've got the front quarter moving, okay? So then you put it together. You go yield here, yield there, and you can get them to dance going down the wall. But it takes time. Break it down into baby steps, a little bit at a time. All of this is in greater detail on my 5 Fundamentals DVD, which you can pick a copy up at holistichorsemanship.com, or it will be coming out as one of the monthly videos under horsemanship.com. Membership is free. I don't know which month that is coming out, but you can wait for that to come out, or you can pick up the DVD Also, I have an iron-free riding starter kit, which includes the whole DVD series. So if you have a question for me, email me, Missy at horsemareship.com. Thank you for joining me.